I'll make it very quick. I've got these great Phonak Lyric hearing aids, which you know about, of course. So ordinarily what happens is they last about 2 months, and I try to get back every month, month and a half, not to put myself in a precarious situation. Long story short, I'm having dinner last night with my beautiful wife, Danielle, and the kids, and my left hearing aid goes out. So now I got to switch seats, Bernie, with Danielle, so she can speak into my right ear so I can hear her, but I was still fine. I called the doctor. She says, I'll see you Wednesday morning, and ordinarily I can go a day or two as long as one hearing aid works. I wake up this morning, Bernie, I'm buzzing my head, I hear nothing. I put the water on to shave, I hear nothing. I put the shower on, I hear nothing. I get in the car with Freddie, he's talking to me. I said, Freddie, make the music louder. He puts it on 10, I hear nothing. I've heard nothing no one has said all morning long except for the amplified voice that you've got right now because of my headphones. Otherwise, I'm completely 1,000%, I'm not kidding, deaf.
Wow, that's incredible. So that's actually your natural state then. You're deaf.
Yeah. Well,
that's incredible. I mean, that wasn't the case before you got the ear hearing aids.
No. What happened was when I went there, they tested my hearing, and 10, of course, is perfect hearing. 1 is you're deaf. And at the time I was tested about 2 years ago, I was a 4. I am pretty sure that 4 has deteriorated now to 1 or 2, which means you're basically deaf. So when I tell you I can't hear a word, I was in the studio right before the start of the show, and both Deb Valentine and Justin Ellick were on the air talking. Couldn't hear a word either one of them said, not one word.
So you joined the ranks of you're an esteemed actor these days. You join the ranks of people like Marlee Matlin, who actually acts, and she's deaf and is celebrated for it. So this is you're actually handicapped on the intersectionality scale. You have a handicap. You check a box, bro. You get some special privileges because you are a handicapped dude, MFer, if I will, and that should be celebrated. And you've overcome that by acting and doing this radio show right now. As a matter of fact, you're performing while deaf on the radio.
It is and I was terrified. I texted Alec this morning. I said, I hate to do this to Bernie at 10 after 4 this morning, but there's a 99% chance he's doing this show solo today because I can't hear. But I still came in, and Justin said, listen, maybe the amplification of the headphones will work, and right now it is working. I hear you. You have gotten lower to me, believe it or not, in the last 2 minutes. So wow. I'm not sure I'll make it till 10 o'clock, but I am here, and I will get to the doctor instead of Wednesday later on this afternoon. I'll take care of it before tomorrow, and I'm going to try to make it till 10 o'clock this morning.
Well, let me just say, I don't want to make light of this. I just did make light of it, but I don't. It's a serious thing. I mean, are you kind of shocked, stunned that you're this hard of hearing? I mean, prior to wearing these, as I mentioned, these hearing aids, you could hear without them, but it was difficult. But you could. Right now, it's nothing. It's down to, I mean, you're flat out. You're flat out hard of hearing. I mean, that's a serious, scary thing. No,
but Bernie, the one thing, if you ever go in that studio, and you probably remember this, it is as loud as it could possibly get on a normal day.
The 10.
And he has the volume up.
You don't have to tell me.
I know.
Steve Summers had the same thing.
Yeah, Summers. It reminded me of Steve Summers, how he could hear
thing.
Listen, it's been that way for years.
For years.
For years and years, we've talked about it in front of and behind his back. You know, because when he walks out, the headphones are on. And people are like, what is that? I can hear programming. That's Sid's headphones. Oh, my God.
Yeah, but,
he keeps them that loud?
But
he does.
Since I got the hearing aids, now I just put the speaker in the studio up high. And a lot of times, when our show used to be live, for example, on TV, I took the headphones off because I looked better without them. And I was able to hear because of the speaker. But to answer your question quickly about how I feel about it, and this is the God's honest truth, when I started running the water this morning in the shower and I heard nothing, I literally had a panic attack. I had a panic attack. I'm like, oh, my God. I'm 55 years old. I'm tan. I'm muscular. I look great. Everybody tells me every day how great you look. I'm deaf. I'm deaf. Like I'm an old man deaf. So I started having a panic attack while I was shaving at 4:20 this morning, to answer your question, Bernard.
Bro, listen, to be serious, it sucks. It really does. You're going to have to learn how to read lips now, that type of thing. You actually, you could be hired by the Mets or the Yankees or something to find out what they're saying in the dugouts. You could still stay in the sports world, but it'll be a different type of occupation for you going down the line.
Well, it wouldn't be so horrible if I couldn't hear, I don't know, people, for example, like Joe Biden, Eric Adams,
Right.
Kathy Hochul, Kamala Harris. If I couldn't hear these people, it wouldn't be all that. That's a blessing.
Or when your wife gets mad. I mean,
Right.
that's stuff like that. But no, I hear you. It's a look at the bright side. You're right about that. It tunes all that crap out. But either way, thanks for coming in, bro. I appreciate
No,
that.
of course.
And I love you, and I don't. I hope this is just a temporary thing. It's just the contrast. Maybe they were helping you so much that you lost your ability temporarily to hear, and that it'll come back. Let's hope for that.
Let's hope for that. Yeah. See, either way, I'll get there today. I usually see the same lady, Dr. Shelley Borgia. She's a sweetheart. And from day one, when Leslie Slender made this deal, I've been seeing her almost for a year and a half now. She's not in the city until Wednesday. So today I'll have to see somebody else. But it's a very, very quick thing. They literally replace they take the two things out. They throw some alcohol in your ear, clean it out, put the two things in. Takes maybe 10 minutes. And I go from 1 on the hearing scale to 10. In less than 10 minutes. That'll be the case later on this afternoon.
Wow.
Great.
The
Then you can come back
technology.
in here and blast the volume at 20,000 decibels. Great. That's awesome. Can't
Yeah,
wait.
well, the saving grace these days is that he's there alone. Essentially. I mean, I used to be there. People would come in, as I mentioned before, not to repeat myself. People were like, "Wow, he puts those things on his ears." That's unbelievable, and that's been going on for years.
You open that door, though, and it's like a sound.
Yeah,
Well,
I
that's
know.
the
I know.
speakers. That's not my headphones. That's the speakers I
Okay,
put
but
up
you
to
have
10.
those up at 10
I know.
too.
No, listen,
So
bro.
no wonder you're deaf as,
I'm
Well,
deaf.
Listen, aside from all that, how was the weekend? Was okay out in Rockaway by the beach?
Let me tell you, it was a gorgeous weekend, and the weekend, and I'll mention this again later when people wake up. But it started Friday, Bernie, when Friday afternoon I took my son Gabriel, made our way to Coney Island, where we had hot dogs together at Nathan's.
Oh, yes,
you
right,
remember
right,
that? Yeah.
yeah.
And then about 5:30 Friday afternoon, me and Gabe made our way to Maimonides Ballpark to the Wall of Remembrance, which again was built after 9/11. It's the faces of every firefighter, cop, and first responder that died on 9/11, specifically from Brooklyn. So if you're from Manhattan or the Bronx, you're not on the wall. There's hundreds of these folks. And Friday marked the 13th anniversary when Sal Magdal actually built the wall. He built that wall back on July 5th. So, excuse me, the 20th anniversary. So they had their 13th annual Night of Heroes. And Michael Davidson, you remember that name, Bernard? He was a really good-looking firefighter. And he was killed on a movie set a couple years ago. You remember that?
I certainly do. Yes, the building burned down in Harlem.
Exactly right. So he was killed. So on this night, Friday night, he was the firefighter that we honored. His wife, Eileen, his children could not make it. So a bunch of other firefighters, including Tommy Palumbo, whose father Frank died back on 9/11, he made it there. And then the Fossil family, the former great Giant football coach that loved you and I, his son John, who worked for the Dallas Cowboys, and his daughter Jana, they showed up with all their kids, and they gave the Davidson family $10,000. And all this took place on the field before the game, and I ran those ceremonies. Then we had some ceremonial first pitches, including our dear friend, the great Congressman Peter King. He threw out a first pitch, and then me, Danielle, Ava, and Gabe took Peter and his lovely security detail lady, Melissa Zim, across the street to Gargiulo's for a great Italian dinner late into Friday night. How about that?
Sounds like a great, wonderful Friday night.
Amazing.
And your son was there to witness it all. And
My son threw out a first pitch. He was one of the 4 ceremonial first pitches.
wow, another memory etched in his brain for when he grows up. That you probably it doesn't even you don't even realize these types of memories that he's that he's accumulating in his brain about his dad and what you mean to the city. And all these things. I mean, it just throwing out the first pitch. I mean, it's an incredible memory. So, hey, listen, congratulations to you. That's
Thank
a great
you.
thing, and that
Thank
was a
you.
great night. And all these people doing wonderful things for wonderful heroes. So that was Friday night. But I mean, I mentioned the beach in particular because these things made national news, and I'm talking about Long Island under siege from sharks. I mean, when I say Long Island, I include where you live as well because. Rockaway and Brooklyn are part of Long Island, believe it or not.
Yeah, but we haven't had, and actually I brought this up in our conversation days ago with Bill O'Reilly. I kind of joked, I said, stay out of the water. But the truth is, there's not been one shark attack in Queens. They're close, but they've all been in your area in Long Island.
Well, let me just tell you, as the crow flies, my area in Long Island is like 7-8 miles from you. So don't get too complacent there, bro. And let me just say this, to your point, that there have been no shark attacks or shark sightings in your area. Listen to the reporter from Channel 7. Her name is Lucy Yang. I think on, what the hell is that show? That animated show? Very, very popular. Animated show on Channel 5.
The Simpsons?
No, close. Not The Simpsons.
Oh,
but,
the Dad Show?
No, the other one with Seth MacFarlane show. What the hell is the name?
Oh, yeah, with the little kid who keeps screaming, Ma.
A Family Guy.
Family Guy. Family Guy has
Thank
what
you.
they
Stewie.
They have what they call the female Asian reporter. That's the way they characterize an Asian reporter. They make fun of the fact that there's all kinds of female Asian reporters. Well, anyway, Channel 7's female Asian reporter, Lucy Yang, listen to her talk about these sharks swarming Long Island, and get ready for this. Play Lucy Yang. Cut number 12, please, Lou.
Patrols were a common sight at local beaches as red flags were raised and swimmers called out of the water for several hours Sunday afternoon. This after sharks were spotted at Rockaway Beach and Lido Beach. Despite a rash of recent attacks where jaws have left their bite marks, the town of Hempstead is now assuring beach lovers they are watching the waves closely. According to officials, there have been more shark sightings these last 2 years than in the last decade, and the sharks are moving closer to shore.
Dude, did you hear what she said?
Yep.
Rockaway, and she singled out your town. She singled out where you live and where I live, and that's it. How do you like that? What are the odds? Where you live and where I live,
That's
and
funny.
that's that.
That is funny.
That's hilarious.
And I guess the specific shark that has been doing all the damage, because according to the reports I saw last week, they swim very close to the shore, are tiger sharks.
Yes, and they're very aggressive. And the reason for the Long Island, and I don't want to be too harsh with the Jersey Shore, but the waters around on Long Island are clean. They're warm, and they're attracting bait fish for these tiger sharks. And that's why they're coming in so close, because the bait fish are there. So look at it this way. Even the sharks don't want to go to the Jersey Shore. I mean, with the hypodermic needles, the diapers, the soda cans washing up on the shore, obnoxious, smelly people like Snooki and all the rest, the sharks are like, we don't need this. Let's go to the beautiful, pristine Long Island beaches.
Hey.
And that's where they've been, all the way out to the Hamptons, out to Montauk, Lido Beach, Jones Beach, Fire Island, Long Beach, and now Rockaway Beach.
Yeah, every time you do this, my Instagram account @rosenberg.sydney blows up with Jersey people who listen to us by the thousands, who get furious with you when you do this.
I know.
So, but I think you do it just because of that. It's actually cute. By the way, the show has an Instagram account too, @It'sBernieandSid, @It'sBernieandSid, and the radio station does as well, @77 WABC Radio. But I think you're kind of joking about the Jersey Shore, not really.
Well, there are a lot of beautiful places. Manteloken, there's a Long Beach Island, I believe, in Jersey.
Yeah, there is.
Those places are beautiful, but there are other places, not so much. And the sharks, they can't decipher the difference, and they just stay the hell away. And they come by your or my house, and it was they're closing the damn beaches all weekend, closing them, open them, closing them, open them, because of stupid lifeguards. They see a fin, and a lot of times the fins are dolphins. But listen to this guy, Cut 23, some lifeguard who claims he got attacked. Take a listen to this guy. Go ahead, Lou.
And all of a sudden I feel a sharp pain and pressure in my hand. So I kind of like pull it in and realize something's attached to it. So I kind of get into, self-defense and survival mode, and I just start hammer punching.
Where are you hitting the shark?
I'm hitting the shark, I think, in the head. I mean, I'm feeling rubber. I connected with it 3 times, and on the 3rd time, the whole shark flipped its body, tail whipped me in the chest, and swam away.
Now that's one of the lifeguards I believe that guy was from Jones Beach, that lifeguard there. But I'm a little cynical sometimes. That guy looked like he was 35 years old. By that time, you shouldn't be a lifeguard. By that time, you should have moved on to some other sort of profession. So my thought is, do these guys make this stuff up? Some of them, so they can get on the news. That's what I'm kind of wondering.
Yeah, listen, I think people definitely do that. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I would do it. Now I've got all the exposure I need.
That's funny, man. That's hilarious, bro. That's funny right there. So anyway, that's the lifeguard. That's the Long Island shark situation, and it was national news all weekend long. Fox News had a reporter perched right here on Lido Beach, so all day long, Saturday and Sunday. Let's go to Lido Beach and check out the situation. That's all national news that we're making out here, and also it's highlighting the beauty of our shores here. So it's like a Chamber of Commerce ad in a way, except for that one little thing that the sharks might kill you if you go in the damn water. So just lastly here in this segment, I will say there's going to be a heat wave this week. No joke. Big-time heat wave really starting in earnest tomorrow. It's going to last a bunch of days. And we talked last week about how smelly the streets of Manhattan are. And you mentioned ass, and I like to say, the streets smell like Rosie O'Donnell's ass in August.
Oh, God.
And that's what we're looking at right there. So the smells of the city were the topic of conversation last Thursday and Friday and a lot of the local news. And Eric Adams said this, the mayor of New York City said this about the stench-laden streets of Manhattan. Play that clip, Lou. It's I think you know what it is.
I got it.
Okay, go ahead, play it.
Folks see our investment in sanitation. The city has to be clean. And I'm seeing the city getting cleaner and cleaner. The number one thing I smell right now is pot. It's like everybody is smoking a joint now. Maybe I have a New York nose that, I'm not smelling filth.
That's what I'm smelling is pot.
He's such a moron.
Yeah, well, wait, you
God.
ain't out on the real streets, bro. That's why. You're flitting around in your limo between clubs and where the mics are set up at some tragic event. You're not out on the streets. That's why. So, yeah, he smells weed and he thinks it's funny too. It's not a joke, man. Again, the stench is disgusting. It's revolting on the streets of New York City. You got to get that thing fixed.
I mean, don't you think, and look, I'm all for legalizing weed. Again, I hope my wife Danielle makes a ton of money doing those contracts. I'm all for legalizing everything. Believe it or not, prostitution, gambling,
bro,
weed.
Me too.
Right.
I'm a libertarian like that.
Right, but don't you think the mayor, again, we both want to legalize it, but don't you think the mayor constantly bringing up weed, whether it's the smell of the city, being a guest on Colbert's show, you don't find that to be really, really embarrassing?
Yeah, it's really frivolous is what it is. That's not a leader. These are serious topics. Weed is a serious topic. I'm for legalizing, not glamorizing it and pushing it on people because, again, there are kids watching and, they take their cues from the adults. And if we're talking about weed in a funny way, I mean, weed damages kids. It holds them back. Once they start, if you start weed at 14, you're done. You ain't making nothing in life. You ain't going anywhere. You need every single advantage, and one of them is a clear head in this jungle of a world that we have out there. So that's why, I don't like it at all when he frivolously talks about weed, as he does all the time, as he did right there. Anyway, that's Eric Adams. Those are the sharks, the heat wave, the stench, and Sid's unfortunate handicap. Oh my God, I'm stunned. My poor partner. I feel bad.
Thank you.
So anyway, there's a lot more show, ladies and gentlemen. I got so much. Sid has so much. Keep it where it is. We'll speak to Rich Lowry this morning. We're going to speak to a guy in the 7 o'clock hour also. Tell us about this guy, Sid, 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock, we've got Michael Henry. He's a great young guy, Bernard. Actually, I did his podcast about a year and a half ago, and he's running for AG against Letitia James, who's a horrible person, and he has been given the nod by the Republicans, so he's the choice for the Republicans, much like Lee Zeldin was. So Michael Henry joins us at 7, which Larry, as you pointed out, will join us at 7:40, and the great comedian who's got a book out with the same exact publisher that I do, Anthony McCarty, Postal Press / Simon & Schuster, Adam Carolla. He's going to stop by at 8:40. So 3 great guests coming up this morning.
That is huge on the Bernie and Sid show. And, of course, Sydney and myself. And, by the way, folks, it's all free. 77 WABC app. We're coming right back.
WABC.